Right. Hello, everyone. Let's start our review for today. We've got a lot of very interesting news today. What should we be paying attention to? Let's begin with the macro indicators, as that's our priority. Tomorrow, the Consumer Inflation Index data for the Eurozone will be released. We can see that Europe is coping with inflation much better than America and the UK. It's holding steady at around 2%. Right, moving on. Wednesday is a very important day. JOLTS, the number of job openings. We'll take a look at what's happening in the labor market. On Thursday, the news will be less eventful. But on Friday, there will be a lot of important news. We'll have the average daily wage, non-farm payrolls, and the unemployment rate. Yes, these are the most crucial figures, which will help us understand what's happening in the market and allow us to anticipate what the Federal Reserve might do regarding monetary policy and the US dollar interest rate.
Igor, come on, let's break it down. Look, if we get poor labor market data, that encourages a rate cut, and a rate cut in the short term tends to boost the market. But if we see strong labor market figures, then
That's a reason to say there's no need to cut the rate, and the rate won't be lowered. And that's pretty much what we expected, a deceptive move, and the market will keep falling.
brilliant, got it. Let's move on.
Yes. There's an 89% chance the interest rate will be cut on the 17th of September. There's a 10% chance the rate will stay the same. That's why I say we'll be keeping an eye on these upcoming news events, and here's the next bit of news. Next week. It's important for us to find out what's going to happen with the PPI and CPI indices. These are the two main points we'll be watching closely, and then we'll have the full picture of how the interest rate cut will play out. In the past 24 hours, more than 124,000 traders have been liquidated, totaling over $320 million. At the moment, it's mainly the long traders who are suffering. Short traders are affected much less. It's mostly the longs. Although, looking at the spot ETF, we see an inflow of $440 million into Bitcoin, and for Ethereum it's even double that, over $1 billion in inflows. So, we can see that institutional investors are still buying. USDT. We see that dominance is heading towards 4.7, 4.8%, aiming to remove this liquidity, test it, and only then will it start moving downwards. Such things happen quite often, like this and like this. In other words, this breakout of the descending trend line happens quite often, and then the movement goes down. I don't rule out that we could go now as well, yes. So, these 2% that might not be reached, it's possible that we'll start moving from right here. Right. But this final move that's expected, that's why I'm basically waiting for Ethereum at around 4,100. I'll talk about this in more detail now. So, altcoins will be accumulating in the range of $3.64 to $3.94 trillion. Or rather, the cryptocurrency market as a whole. Altcoins might just touch $970 or $980 billion. Somewhere around here, they might touch this level and then start moving up. So, if altcoins start moving up from here, that's possible. But ideally, of course, it would be best if they dropped down here first. But they might simply not allow it, because it's already the beginning of September and the market needs to start growing soon. Bitcoin dominance might still pull back towards 59%, but overall, I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance to go down. Ethereum dominance might pull back towards 13%. But with the kind of volumes institutional investors are buying Ethereum with, it might at least drop to 13.46. And here, by the way, we might see 400 and then move upwards towards the previous all-time high. I reckon we'll most likely see the previous ATH for Ethereum dominance 20, 22, maybe even above 22%. So, we might see Ethereum's dominance double. AZERS is accumulating nicely, holding within the triangle. I think there might still be some movement towards 765. But overall, I see a positive outlook for the altcoin market, maybe somewhere closer to the 6th or 7th of September, around that period. As for Bitcoin itself, It's accumulating nicely in the $107,000 to $108,000 range. After that, I'm expecting more aggressive buying and the start of a new upward trend. It's the same story with Ether. We can see how it's turning here, looking like it wants to go down towards 4,400, somewhere in that range. Ideally, of course, it would fill this gap. Right. At the moment, it hasn't been filled. The ideal scenario would be for it to drop towards 3,860. But even if it just tries for 4,100, that would be very good. All right. As for spot positions, what's interesting for us, Solana is also moving well. It could test $190. Ondu could still drop towards 85 cents. I like AVAX. Filecoin, good accumulation. There's good strength here. Jupiter is also showing a good build-up. Casper, Arbitrum, and Don. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more coins. Dima, you can add them here as well.
Yes.
We can now move on to questions from our valued viewers.
Let's add Popcat and Oh God MOC. They dropped quite well.
So again.
Popcat.
Got it.
MOC. The cat with glasses. I think we've already picked that one up. MOC. We've already got it.
Well, would you look at that?
Yes, we can add it on Bibit as well, actually. Looks like he checked.
Yes, Tima is there, supposedly.
I'll find out. Yes, he says it's dropping. I'll find out.
But in theory, he still needs to take the low there, maybe go again. That one, yes. Yes. Overall, if you're fine with it, I'm fine with it too.
No, in general, you can buy, you can take it, no problem.
So, what now? Looks like we won't have any questions today. So, overall, we can wrap up. Everything is clear and informative overall. Thank you for the broadcast, and see you next Monday.
All right, see you on Monday. All right.